What's up, guys? Coach Matt and YouGoProBaseball.com. This is an office hours episode where I answer your baseball questions here in my office. The question today comes from Jesse Smith, and he says, "Hey, Coach, this is a great tool. I purchased it along with a couple other coaches for our Cobra team locally here in Orlando." What's up, Orlando? The training tool he's talking about is the swing rail. I made a video called the #1 baseball hitting drill to prevent casting, rollovers, and more. This is the video he commented on, and this is the tool that he's talking about. I'll leave a link down below if you guys are interested in learning more. Let's continue on the question. The only thing that it doesn't help with is the player's patience, LOL. My boy and a couple of others it was purchased for are just not patient enough to keep attaching it to the loop. My son does a great job on keeping his hands inside except for outside strike pitches. That's where he casts a little. I think this tool is one of the simplest gadgets to come around in a long time, and I'm a fan. Okay, so that was not really the question, but here's the question. By chance, do you have any videos for young pitchers who look great in warm-ups and bullpen practice but can't take that success into games? My son is consistently pitching outside when someone is in the box. I haven't focused on heel to heel as much as I think I should, but have implemented it a couple of times this week. Okay, so that's a great question. First of all, thank you for the review on the swing rail. Again, I'll leave a link down below if you guys have no clue what I'm talking about. But as far as pitching goes, heel to heel, and for those of you who don't know what heel to heel is something I talk about a lot for alignment in pitching, meaning when you're set up here against the rubber, when we land, we want to be in line, good alignment. I hope you can see my feet, but my front foot is, if I pulled it straight back, would be in line heel to heel. So I'm going down the mound straight. Right now, there's going to be some rotation, obviously, to get to that point, rotation of our front side to get to that point, but when we land, that's a good general rule of where you should be. So you could always just draw that line from your back heel down the mound. If you're on a clay mound or if you're on an indoor mound, you could tape it out. But that just gives you a general idea where you can be. What I tell my guys is if they're off 1 foot width on that line, meaning just the width of their foot, if they're like right here still touching that line or right here still touching that line, they're okay. So that's just a general rule. And that's what he's talking about if you don't know what he's talking about. Now, as far as videos on that, I haven't really talked about that much, but it's a huge problem, right? I see guys all the time who are awesome, whether it's in pitching or hitting during practice. They're just awesome. So let's take your son, for example. He's doing great pitching in the bullpens and pitching in practice, right? He looks awesome. He's hitting his spots. He's throwing fast. But then when he gets into the game, he can't duplicate that. He can't make that happen. I don't think it's anything physical. Being a former pitcher myself, I know that when you get into that game and that batter steps in the batter's box, everything changes, and it has a lot to do with this. The visual is different because now you have a batter in there. The feeling is different because now there's something on the line. There's more pressure. So it's a lot to do with this. The first thing you can do, we can combat the visual. So now let's start adding in hitters while he's throwing his bullpen or his pitching practice. So all you have to do is have hitters come in and stand in. They're not going to be swinging, okay? Just have them stand in. This is great for the hitters because now they get to see pitches. They can work on timing them up, stuff like that. So your hitters can get some practice, but now your son also gets the visual of a batter being in there because sometimes just the visual of the batter being in there could mess a pitcher up. In fact, I was always messed up when I got into the game. The first pitch, I had to throw that first pitch. No matter what happened with the first pitch, once I threw that first pitch when the batter was in, I felt so much better. It was just a matter of, for me, just throwing that first pitch and getting in there with the visual of the batter in there. I don't know, it was weird. And I assume that a lot of other pitchers have that same issue. So we can combat the visual part of that with just putting batters in there in practice. Now, the mental part of it, the pressure part of it, we just have to learn. We have to teach them the mental part of the game. And I think that's a big part of it, especially for your son, especially guys who do really well in practice because we know they have that ability. We've seen it. We've seen them do it time and time again in practice, but then in the game they can't make it happen, right? So we know they have the ability. So we have to teach them or give them the tools that they need to be able to get into the game, breathe, calm down, focus, and then execute on what they know they're able to do because they know they're able to do it. We have to give them the confidence to do that as well. And if they do it more times, time and time again, they're going to build the confidence themselves as well. So that's a big part of it. One of the biggest things is that we need to teach them about breathing, right? Breathing is huge, okay? I see too many guys get in there and the game speeds up. You can tell. Like, you can tell they're like frazzled when they get in there, right? I don't know if this is your son's issue or not. It may just be a visual thing. But I'm just going to give everything I can here that I know from my experience, because maybe someone else listening has a different issue. Breathing is huge, because once that game gets sped up 1,000 miles an hour, and we can see in the pitcher's eyes, he's all frantic. He can't control himself. He's like jittery. He starts breathing fast, breathing real shallow. It's almost like his face will get red. Sometimes my face used to get red in those situations, and that's the game speeding up on us. And when I got into high school, maybe not high school, college, professional, I heard the term a lot: slow the game down, slow the game down. And then as I grew in my career, I kind of realized what that meant. And that meant take that game that feels like it's going 1,000 miles an hour because we're letting all the pressure in the situation get to us, and slow it down. Deep, breathe deep, right? The more we can breathe deep, we're going to be able to slow our heart rate down, and then we're going to be able to be more comfortable when we're pitching. But if we're going 1,000 miles an hour and everything's going, oh my God, we got to run around first, and everything's going so fast and we're freaking out, we don't have time to use that, to harness that energy and use it in the proper way. It's all energy is all it is, right? That's nervous energy. And we're letting it out in a nervous way. Oh, what's happening? I don't know. But if we can take that energy, breathe, bottle it in, and then use it for that pitch, right? Now we're using this energy that we have to do good, right? So that's why you see some guys who are gamers who do better in the games when it's stressful situations. They just always come through, right? The gamers, Mr. Clutch players, is because they know, whether it be instinctively or they learned it, how to use the energy that they have, that nervous energy that they have in them to perform, right? So that's kind of my goal. There's no simple answer to that. I definitely check out some books. There's a great book called Play Big by Dr. Tom Hansen. That's a great one, easy read, even for your son. I think he could read it. I forget how old you said he was, but again, it's a real easy read for you as well. There's so much information on YouTube. If you type in baseball mental game, I've got a few videos on some of the stuff. Check out the 3 S's for success. That's a video I did. That's another great one. But I really think if we can just give these young players the tools to attack the game mentally, because we talk so much about the physicality of the game, but if we can give them the tools mentally to help them bring out the most of their abilities while they're in stressful situations, then they're going to perform a lot better on the field. When they perform a lot better on the field, they're going to feel confident, and it's going to be easier for them to repeat it and have repeated success. So I hope that answers your question. Hop down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys are struggling on. If there's any issues that you guys are having with yourself, if you're a pitcher, or if you have a son who plays, let me know in the comments below. If you have a great question, maybe I'll answer it here on a video. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Click the logo right over here. Make sure you got the notifications on. Go check out some of these videos over here. I'll leave some of the mental game stuff videos over here so you can check them out after this video. Thanks so much, guys. I really hope this helps and that these young athletes start balling out on the field. Thanks.